Shalom, 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 Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, right? Before I kick it off, right? So it's your brother Joshua back with another quick coffee break, man, and a quick exhortation for brothers and sisters in this truth, right? And the quick topic, man, of praying for one another in these last days, man. We have to continue to pray for one another in these last days, right? Time is getting short and the days are growing more and more dark. And brothers and sisters are dealing with all types of infirmities, uh, depression, uh, stress at the workplace, at home, physical infirmities, things of that nature, man. Just demons all around trying to vex you, take you out of the spirit, right? And we need righteous prayer for one another, man, right? In these last days, because you never know what a brother or sister's going through, in these last days. And we definitely need one another, to keep one another in the spirit, right? So I'm going to kick it off with this first precept real quick in the book of James, chapter 5 and verse 16. And it reads, confess your faults one to another and pray one for another that ye may be healed. The effectual, fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much, right? So it says an effectual, fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. That doesn't mean just send up one prayer and say, okay, well, I lifted up a prayer for that brother. All right, I'm done. You know, a fervent, effectual prayer, man, when you continue to pray constantly, man, for a brother's needs. Like I said, you never know what a brother or a sister may be going through in these last days, man. These demons are hopping on brothers and sisters left and right, man, and they're trying to break them down spiritually, physically, right? And take them out of the spirit, man. And ultimately at the end, trying to wipe them and take them out of this truth, man. You know, and it's a lot of vexation going on in the body right now. All hell is breaking loose, and brothers and sisters is falling left and right, and it's a scary thing, right? Shalom, King, right? And it's a beautiful thing for brothers and sisters to pray for one another, man, and make that intercession for one another. Because a brother or sister may not know what they actually need prayer for, right? They could be going through something and actually praying for something, but the Most High, what I'm saying, is not giving it to them because they need prayer for something else, right? Things work well in the spirit for those that go to war for one another, right? That has one another's back, in these last days, right? So we got to understand that righteous prayer for a righteous man or a righteous sister for his neighbor is a beautiful thing in the sight of the Most High, man. And exhortating one another, right? Keeping brothers and sisters in the spirit, man. Making that righteous intercession, right? That's a sacrifice that you're giving for your neighbor, man. It's a righteous thing in the eyes of the Most High, man. Right? Let me get another precept real quick in the book of 2 Timothy chapter 2, and I'm going to start at verse 1. And it says, I exhort therefore that first of all supplications, prayers, intercessions, and giving of thanks be made for all men, right? So we got to understand that this right here, I'm going to read that one more time. It says, I exhort therefore that first of all supplications, prayers, intercessions, and giving of thanks may be made for all men, right? So we making supplications, man, and intercessions for brothers and sisters, man, right before the Most High, right? Because these things, like I said, it's a continuous battle in this truth. It's an uphill battle constantly, spiritually, physically, mentally, all the above, right? And it seems as much more when you get into the truth. When you're in the world, you deal with certain things, man, but you always have a different outlet to relieve your stress. But when you're in the truth, it seems like things are double, right? Things happen more often. It's a reason for these things, man, right? It's to build up your spirit, build up your character, right? Make you strong in these last days. Because we all need to build up faith, and we all need to build up in the trust of the Most High, that He has our back through anything, right? And that's what we ultimately need to understand, that prayer is a big key to making it through the things that we deal with. And that's the thing that we lack a lot in this race, that brothers and sisters are lacking a lot of prayer, fasting, and just sitting and meditating on the words, man, in these last days, man. And it's really rough, because once you start getting out of the spirit, that's when things start getting worse and worse and worse for you. Prayer is the medicine, man, right? And then when you have another brother on the side magnifying prayers, right, sending up prayers for you, then hey, guess what? The Lord sees that, and hey, man, He honors that, because He understands that you're going to war for your brother, right? There's no greater love that a brother give his life for another brother. That can be in many fold. You can actually give your life up for a brother, right? And you can actually give your life over by laboring for a brother, making sure his spirit is okay, right? So you continue to pray without ceasing, right? Let me get another prayer real quick, or another precept, Salakia, right? I think I want Colossians chapter, bear with me real quick. Colossians chapter 1 and verse 9, and it reads, "For this cause we also, since the day we heard it, do not cease to pray for you, and to desire that ye might be filled with the knowledge of His will in all wisdom and spiritual understanding," right? "That ye might walk worthy of the Lord unto all pleasing, being fruitful in every good work, and increasing in the knowledge of the Most High, strengthened with all might according to His glorious power unto all patience and long suffering with joyfulness," right? So that's what we do. We continue to pray constantly without ceasing for one another, man. You can't just pray once and say, okay, well, hey, man, that's enough. Hopefully the Lord heard that prayer and that's it. No, because you have spiritual entities, you have spiritual demons that are trying to attack those prayers and take those prayers out of the air, man, right? Sometimes your prayer might not reach the ceiling. That's why you got to constantly lift up those prayers, man, that the Lord may hear you. And at the same time, be righteously doing the works so your prayers will be heard, man. Because we know the Lord don't hear any sinners, right? And another thing is that, you know what I'm saying, we got to bear the infirmities of the weak, man, right? We got to carry our brother's burdens on our back, because some of us are not stronger than others, right? Some of us might not have the spirit as another brother does, right? And they might be weak at a little point, that they need that righteous build up from another brother, and another brother's prayers may help that brother grow in the spirit, man. The Lord might give that brother an increase just because you prayed for him, right? Let's get a precept on that real quick. Get the book of Galatians, right? Chapter 6. And I'm going to start at verse number 2. And it reads, "Bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ." Right? So we got to bear one another's burdens in this thing, man. Right? Because a brother might be going through something that might be a little worse than your situation. Right? That's the meaning of brotherhood, man. That brotherly love, man. You know, you got to carry him on your back when he can't walk. Right? Just like you're a soldier on the battlefield, man, and one of your brother's legs gets shot off. You can't just leave him right there. You're going to do what? You're going to pick him up, hoist him on your back, man, and you're going to keep it pushing. Right? As far as you can go, man. Carry your brother on your back, man, because your brother might be slightly weaker than you, and you give him a portion of your spirit, right? Hey, man, and y'all both can grow together in this thing, man. Simply by prayer. Prayer is powerful, man. Right? All right, let's get one more precept on that. Let's go to the book of Romans, right? I think I want chapter 15 and starting at the top. 15:1, it reads, "We then that are strong ought to bear the infirmities of the weak, and not to please ourselves," right? "Let every one of us please his neighbor for his good to edification," right? You see that? So, hey, we got to bear the infirmities of the weak, man, in this thing. You know what I'm saying? And not just to say that your brother's a weak man, but hey, man, he might not be as strong as you in the spirit, right? But nevertheless, that righteous prayer, man, is going to, hey, man, uplift that brother in the day, man. You know what I'm saying? When he really needs it, right? Let's go to the classic real quick, right? In the book of Ecclesiastes. All right, let's get the classic. Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and verse 9, and it reads, "Two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up. Again, if two lie together, they have heat. But how can one be warm when he's alone," right? So, hey, man, sometimes it takes more than one brother, man, to get through a situation, right? So you never know. You might be at home in the dark, praying and you praying and praying and nothing's happening, man. You've been praying and praying for the last 2 weeks, man. But your brother's sitting down way on the other side of town, man, and he's praying for you. And the Most High hears his prayers. And he honors that, man, right? That's a beautiful thing, right? So I'm going to read 11 again. It says, "Again, if two lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? And if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him. And the threefold cord is not easily broken," or slacky, quickly broken, right? So the more the merrier, man, right? Righteous prayers from righteous brothers and sisters being magnified in this thing, man. The Lord is going to hear that. He's going to honor that, man. It's a beautiful thing in the eyes of the Most High. And that's brotherly love, man. And ultimately, that's what the Lord is telling you, man. Love your neighbor as yourself. It's not about you. We labor for one another, man. We consider one another in this truth, man. It's not about us, right? We always do this thing for one another, man. A friend is a faithful is a defense, right? Paraphrasing, right? I'm gonna get that. I'm not gonna paraphrase that because that's a mighty precept. Let me get that in the book of Sirach, chapter 6 and 14, real quick, right? It's the book of Sirach, chapter 6, Salakia, and verse number 14. It says, "A faithful friend is a strong defense, and he that hath found such a one hath found a treasure. Nothing doeth countervail a faithful friend, and his excellency is invaluable. A faithful friend is the medicine of life, and they that fear the Lord shall find him." See that? That's beautiful, man. A faithful friend is a defense, man, in these times, man. Right? That righteous man that's praying for you, man, and going to war for you, man, spiritually fighting these demons when you don't even know it, man. Right? That's the reason why some of us are still in this truth, man, because of prayers of our brothers and our sisters, man. And the Lord is hearing that and having mercy on us because he see the work of our people around us, man. The love of our people, right? Because we could have been fainted a long time ago, man, and didn't cross that finish line, right? But hey, the prayer of a righteous man availeth much, man. You understand what I'm saying? And this, that's a powerful, powerful thing, man. So that's why you always have to understand that being around people with a like mind, like heart, keeping the commandments is a beautiful thing. It's a righteous thing in the eyes of the Most High. These worldly people, man, praying for you, man, it's to no avail. It's not going to work for you. You have to be keeping the commandments, following the Most High God for him to even consider those thoughts, man. right? So I'm going to get one more and I'm going to close out, right? Let me get the book of Sirach, chapter 37, and I'm going to start at verse 12. It says, "But be continually with a godly man, whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord, whose mind is according to thy mind, and will sorrow with thee if thou shalt miscarry." Right? So always be with a godly man, a godly sister, who you know is going to keep the commandments and is going to go to war for you, and keep your back in any situation, man. Watch your six, right? And make those supplications and intercessions to the Most High for you in these last days, right? But with that, I'm going to say, Kahalo Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Hope it was edifying, and Shalom.